A new survey finds Americans would spend nearly 3/4 of their annual income just to feel at peace. And the three things they'd pay the most for tell you a lot about what's actually keeping them up at night. A TikToker proposed buying Spirit Airlines 4 days ago as a joke, and 125,000 people have pledged $88 million. And a 15-year study of adults finds eating one egg a week is linked to a 47% lower risk of Alzheimer's. And this time the mechanism actually makes sense. Politics is loud, it takes up a lot of oxygen, and while everyone was busy staring at that particular situation, a bunch of other things happened. I'm Keith Conrad, and this is News SideQuest. Let's get into the other stuff. A new Talker research survey of 2,000 American adults asked a deceptively simple question. How much would you pay for peace of mind? The answers are illuminating in ways that go well beyond the headline and the number. Those polled have an average household income of about $79,000 per year. They said they'd be willing to spend nearly 3/4 of it, around $57,000 annually, just for security and serenity. When asked what specifically they'd pay for, the top answers were always being able to afford necessities like groceries and medication at about $21,000 a year, never having to worry about losing their job at about $19,000 per year, and never having to worry about an expensive medical bill or copay at $16,000 per year. Read those three things again. Not vacations, not luxuries, not experiences. Groceries, employment security, medical bills. The things people are most desperate to stop worrying about are the most basic infrastructure of a stable adult life. The fact that those things feel like they require a $57,000 premium to stop being sources of anxiety is the real story. Nearly 1 in 5 respondents, 17%, said they feel financially anxious every single day. 1 in 3 said peace of mind feels less attainable today than it was 5 years ago, and 41% said they currently aren't able to buy peace of mind when they want to, even though 47% would prefer to pay for it. The irony is real. If you gave up your paycheck for a year to buy peace of mind, you'd immediately have a host of new problems. But I think the more interesting question is the one underneath the numbers. What does peace of mind actually require? Because for some people, it's genuinely financial, a number in a savings account that represents a buffer. For others, it's relational, having the right people around you. For others, it's about health or autonomy or something harder to name. The researcher quoted in the study put it well. Sustainable peace of mind is less about removing uncertainty and more about increasing our ability to handle uncertainty. These habits are best when embedded into daily life in brief, consistent ways, shifting peace of mind from something purchased to something practiced. What would you need to have in your life to feel genuine peace of mind? What would you need to get rid of?
Serenity now! Serenity now!
What is that?
When my blood pressure gets too high, the man on the tape tells me to say, Serenity now!
Are you supposed to yell it?
The man on the tape wasn't specific.
I told you earlier this week that Spirit Airlines is gone. I may have spoken too soon. Hunter Peterson is a voice actor and YouTuber in LA who once flew Spirit Airlines for 24 consecutive hours as a YouTube stunt, which sounds like absolute torture. When Spirit shut down Saturday morning, he did what any reasonable person with a platform would do. He posted a TikTok proposing that the American public collectively buy the airline. There are more than 250 million individuals over the age of 18 in the US, he said. If we took only 20% of them and basically paid the average fare of a Spirit flight, somewhere around $30 to $40, we could buy Spirit Airlines. Threw up a website in about an hour by his own admission. It crashed immediately. He rebuilt it, and as of Monday, 125,000 people have committed to supporting the plan, with over $88 million pledged. The campaign is targeting $1.75 billion in total pledges. The website's pitch: the minimum pledge is $45, the average price of a one-way Spirit ticket. You've already paid to fly on this airline. Now you can help own it. Every dollar pledged is a vote against private equity and a vote for an airline that answers to its people. The structure being proposed is a cooperative model, with every verified member getting one vote regardless of pledge amount, and profit sharing distributed proportionally. I want to be honest about the realistic prospects here because the experts are. One financial analyst said it plainly: $88 million is only about 3.5% of what Spirit's creditors would need to consider moving forward, and those are non-binding pledges. Anyone is free to pledge whatever amount they want and never actually pay. Another industry expert noted that even if the pledges converted to real capital, the amounts fall far short of what it would be required to purchase assets, secure FAA certification, and hire staff. Spirit itself clarified that the campaign is not affiliated with or endorsed by the company in any way. But here's what I find genuinely interesting about this campaign. Independent of whether it has a chance of working, one analyst said it best: the campaign underscores the need for more affordable air travel. On the personal budget side, individuals and families will scrimp and save in a million places before they give up their vacations. As inflation continues to cut into a household spending power, a budget airline becomes even more important. The $88 million in 4 days isn't really about Hunter Peterson or Spirit Airlines for that matter. It's a very specific kind of public grief about losing something that made certain things possible that are now once again flying out of reach. So would you pledge $45 to own a share of a people's airline? And if you were a stakeholder in a crowdfunded Spirit 2.0, one actual vote, same as everyone else, what's the one policy you'd vote for first?
I just want to tell you both, good luck. We're all counting on you.
A major new study out of Loma Linda University, published this week in the Journal of Nutrition, I've got a copy if you want to read it, tracked nearly 40,000 older adults for more than 15 years and found something that I want to present carefully because the egg conversation has a bit of a credibility problem. People who ate eggs at least 5 times a week showed a 27% lower risk of Alzheimer's disease compared to those who rarely or never ate eggs. Eating at least one egg a week was associated with a 40% lower risk. The most frequent egg eaters also showed less buildup of toxic Alzheimer's-related proteins in their brains, confirmed through autopsy data on deceased participants. The mechanism, and this is the part that actually holds up, is choline. Eggs are one of the richest dietary sources of choline. One large egg delivers about 140 milligrams. Choline is a precursor of acetylcholine, a neurotransmitter critical for memory and learning. Lower acetylcholine levels have long been linked to cognitive decline in Alzheimer's. The researchers found that choline accounted for about 37% of the association between egg consumption and reduced Alzheimer's risk, meaning there are likely other nutrients in eggs contributing to the rest. At some point, we need a group of medical professionals to just lock themselves in a room and decide once and for all whether we should be eating eggs, because the advice seems to change every few weeks. And I want to be fair to both sides of that frustration. The egg confusion is largely a media problem rather than a science problem. The actual research on eggs has been more consistent than headlines would suggest. What happened was that for decades, dietary cholesterol, of which eggs have a ton, was assumed to cause cardiovascular disease. That assumption turned out to be wrong for most people. When the cholesterol concern was revised, the headline screams, "Eggs are good again," in a way that made it seem like scientists were guessing. They weren't. The science got more specific and the revision was appropriate. The Alzheimer's connection is genuinely new and the choline mechanism is well supported. So this isn't a reversal, it's just an addition to what we knew. What's the health advice you've completely given up following because it keeps changing? Not in a nihilistic, nothing matters way, in a practical, I drew a line and decided to just do what works for me sort of way.
It has minimal side effects, only nausea, impotence, and anal leakage.
I'm getting 2 out of 3 just from the conversation.
If you're enjoying the show and want to go deeper on stories that actually deserve the time, the SideQuest feed is currently running our 10-episode Titanic series. Each episode has a free condensed version and an extended cut for paid subscribers that goes considerably further into the real story behind one of the most documented disasters in history. Paid subscribers are what makes it possible for me to keep building both shows. Find Side Quests wherever you get your podcasts or through the Substack app.
All right, go ahead.
A porta-potty exploded in New Jersey, prompting a response from the bomb squad. The cause appears to have been a buildup of methane gas, which can accumulate in sealed portable toilets and ignite under certain conditions. So we can now add porta-potty explosions to the list of things I didn't know I needed to be worried about. That list continues to grow.
When you gotta go, you gotta go.
A man watching a Patriots-Giants game laughed so hard at a botched kick that he had a seizure, which turned out to potentially save his life because the seizure led to medical evaluations that discovered an underlying neurological condition that would have gone otherwise undetected. Ray Finkel was unavailable for comment. The man is expected to be fine. The kick remains botched.
It was all that Dan Marino's fault. Everyone knows that. If he had held the ball laces out like you're supposed to, Ray would never have missed that kick. Dan Marino should die of gonorrhea and rot in hell.
Children in the UK are reportedly drawing fake mustaches on their faces to bypass online age verification systems for social media. A report found this among the methods kids are using to circumvent age checks that rely on facial analysis. A funny nose and glasses would probably be more effective. I also want to say that kids drawing mustaches on their face to access TikTok is both ingenious and deeply sad. I'm not sure which I feel stronger about.
I don't want to live on this planet anymore.
64 calves were stolen from a farm in Ohio overnight, with investigators described the operation as requiring significant logistical planning and coordination to execute quietly in the dark. That level of precision required to move 64 calves without detection represents a genuine organizational capability that could be applied to something, considerably less illegal. Those skills are transferable.
Don't kid yourself, Jimmy. If a cow ever got the chance, he'd eat you and everyone you care about.
That's it for today's news side quest. 3 questions dangling out there. What you'd need to have or get rid of for genuine peace of mind. Whether you'd pledge $45 for a People's airline and what you'd vote for first, and the health advice you've completely stopped following because it keeps changing. Email me at newsidequest@gmail.com or hit me up in the Substack comments. See you next time.